The courtroom echoed with silence as the judge's gavel struck wood. Audrey gripped Finley's hand until her knuckles turned white. Their 6-week-old daughter Sophia nestled safely between them in her carrier. She never thought the people who raised her would force this fight, only for the law to hand them an unexpected victory. 6 months earlier, the air in their Portland apartment had smelled of fresh paint and hope. Audrey, 32 and a rising corporate attorney, had come home from another late meeting to find Finley, her wife of 4 years, cradling a positive pregnancy test like it was the most fragile treasure on earth. "We did it," the younger woman had whispered, tears streaming down her freckled cheeks. Finley, the elementary school teacher with sun-kissed blonde hair and a laugh that could light up the darkest room, had carried their daughter using a donor they both chose after months of careful research. Audrey, whose egg had been fertilized, was listed on every document as the second parent. Their marriage certificate from the Multnomah County Courthouse hung framed above the crib they painted soft lavender. The first ultrasound appointment had been pure joy. Finley squeezed Audrey's hand so hard during the heartbeat that both women laughed through happy sobs. "This is our family," Audrey had said, kissing her wife's temple. "No one can take that from us." But the words tasted like a promise she would soon have to defend against her own blood. Audrey's parents, the Thompsons, still lived in their sprawling farmhouse outside Boise, Idaho, where Sunday services and American flags waved in perfect harmony. They had tolerated the wedding, barely showing up for the civil ceremony and leaving early with tight smiles. When the pregnancy announcement came via video call, her mother had gone pale. "A baby, Audrey, really, with her? How will you explain this to the child when she asks why she has 2 moms and no dad?" Her father's voice had cut in colder. "This is not how we raised you. Blood is blood." Audrey had hung up, shaking. Finley rubbed slow circles on her back. "They'll come around, love. Babies change everything." But the change came in the form of silence. No baby shower gifts, no excited texts, no offers to fly out for the birth. Finley went into labor on a rainy October night. Audrey drove like a woman possessed through downtown traffic, while Finley breathed through contractions, gripping the oh-shit handle. At the hospital, the nurses were kind efficient. Sophia arrived screaming at 3 in the morning, weighing 6 pounds 4 ounces, with a shock of dark hair, like Audrey's, and Finley's bright blue eyes. The room filled with the scent of antiseptic and new life. Audrey cut the cord, tears blurring her vision. "She is perfect," she whispered. "Ours." The rejection hit 2 days later. Audrey's parents showed up unannounced at the hospital room door, her mother clutching a bouquet of wilting carnations, her father stone-faced in his Sunday best. Finley was nursing Sophia when they entered. The air thickened instantly. "Mom, Dad," Audrey said, standing protectively. "You came." Her mother set the flowers down without looking at the baby. "We came to talk sense into you. This lifestyle, Audrey, it's not natural. That child deserves a real mother and father." Finley stiffened but kept her voice steady. "Sophia has 2 mothers who love her more than anything." Audrey's father pointed a thick finger at the bassinet. "We won't stand by while you ruin an innocent life with your choices. If you insist on this, then we have no choice but to walk away. And we expect you to do the same with us. No visits, no calls. You're dead to us if you keep playing house like this." Audrey felt the floor tilt. This was her father, the man who taught her to ride a bike, who walked her down the aisle despite his doubts. "Mom, please," she begged. "Look at her. She's your granddaughter." Her mother turned away, eyes wet but jaw set. "We prayed on this. God doesn't make mistakes. You did." They left without holding Sophia, without even saying her name. Finley rocked the baby, tears falling onto the tiny blanket. Audrey stood frozen, replaying every holiday, every family dinner where she had hidden pieces of herself. The price of love, she realized, was higher than she had ever calculated. Back in Portland, the silence from Idaho grew louder than any argument. Audrey's phone stayed dark. No congratulations, no questions about feeding schedules. At work, colleagues offered polite smiles, but the whispers followed her to the coffee machine. "Did you hear about Audrey and her wife? They had a baby, but the family cut them off completely." Finley returned to teaching after 8 weeks, her body still healing, her heart raw. Parents at school pickup gave awkward nods, some crossing to the other side of the playground. Sophia thrived, chubby and alert, but every milestone felt edged with grief. Audrey lay awake nights staring at the ceiling, Finley's even breathing beside her. Was this fair to Sophia, growing up knowing half her family rejected her existence before she could even smile? Was Audrey's love enough to fill that void, or was she selfish for insisting on this family against the world? One night after a particularly brutal day at the firm where a senior partner had suggested she take family leave to sort out her personal issues, Audrey broke. She sat on the edge of the bed, head in hands. Maybe they're right, Finn. Maybe she needs more than us. Finley sat up, fire in her eyes. Don't you dare. That little girl has everything she needs right here. Your parents chose hate over her. We choose her every single day. But the doubt planted roots. Audrey began researching grandparent rights in Oregon and Idaho, wondering if her family could ever force their way back in, not to love but to control. The first court papers arrived by certified mail 3 weeks later. Audrey's parents were petitioning for visitation and ultimately guardianship, claiming the child's best interest required traditional parental figures. The petition cited moral unfitness, vague but damning. Audrey's hand shook as she read the words, her own last name weaponized against her. Finley read over her shoulder, then pulled her close. We fight this together. No matter what it costs. Audrey nodded, but inside the storm raged. She had spent her career arguing cases for justice. Now she had to argue for the right to be called mother by the law, and by her own child. The price was already climbing: family bonds, severed career, whispers, social stares. Yet looking at Sophia asleep in her crib, tiny fist curled around a stuffed rabbit, Audrey felt the first spark of steel. This was her family, the one she chose and the one she would defend with everything she had. Little did she know the courtroom battle ahead would test every ounce of that resolve and force choices no mother should ever have to make. The certified letter sat on their kitchen table like a live grenade. Audrey read it again, the legal jargon blurring through fresh tears. Her parents, not content with emotional exile, now wanted legal access to Sophia, claiming her upbringing in a lesbian household would cause psychological harm. Finley paced the small living room, phone pressed to her ear, talking to their lawyer in clipped tones. Yes, we are legally married. Yes, both names are on the birth certificate. No, we will not agree to supervised visits. Audrey watched her wife, the woman who had carried their daughter through morning sickness and swollen ankles, now fighting with the ferocity of a lioness. Yet Audrey's own guilt gnawed deeper. These were her parents. Her childhood home. The same hands that bandaged her scraped knees now signed documents to rip her world apart. That weekend they drove to a support group for LGBTQ parents in a community center downtown. The room smelled of coffee and courage. A dozen couples shared stories, some with happy endings, others still bleeding from custody battles. One mother, a tall black woman with twins, described how her conservative in-laws had tried to claim the children were confused by having two moms. I lost sleep for months, she said. Wondered if I was damaging them. But then I looked at my girls laughing together, and knew love like ours heals more than it hurts. Audrey clutched Finley's hand tighter. On the drive home, Finley said softly, we are not damaging her, AUD. Your family is trying to. But the words lodged in Audrey's throat. What if they were right? What if Sophia at 3 or 13 asked why Grandma and Grandpa never called? Why did half the world look at their family like it was broken? Monday brought fresh wounds. Audrey's older sister Claire called from Boise, voice syrupy with false concern. Mom and Dad are devastated, you know. They only want what's best for the baby. You could still fix this, AUD. Divorce her. Come home. We can help you raise Sophia the right way. Audrey nearly dropped the phone. Claire, who had been her confidant through high school, who had secretly known about her first crush on a girl, now parroting the family line. You're kidding me, Claire. This is my wife, my child. How can you side with them? The line went quiet, then Claire's tone hardened. Because blood is thicker, AUD. You're throwing away everything for a phase. Dad cried real tears last night. Think about that. The call ended with a click that echoed like a slap. Finley found Audrey on the bathroom floor sobbing. She knelt, pulled her close. She's wrong, love. Blood means nothing if it comes with chains. Work became a minefield. A major client pulled out of a deal after learning of the pending court case, muttering about family values in the boardroom. Audrey's boss suggested she step back from high-profile cases to avoid bad press. Finley faced it at school too. A parent complained to the principal that Miss Hayes should not be teaching impressionable children given her lifestyle. The principal defended her, but the damage spread, rumors in the teacher's lounge, sideways glances at pickup. Sophia remained oblivious, cooing at ceiling fans, reaching for Audrey's face with gummy smiles. Each milestone felt stolen the first time she rolled over, the first laugh. Audrey documented them all in a journal, writing letters to her daughter. She might never read if the court ruled against them. Dear Sophia, today you smiled at me and it broke my heart because your grandparents will never see it. I wonder if I'm strong enough to give you the world when half of mine wants to take you away. The moral weight pressed hardest at night. Audrey lay awake replaying childhood sermons about sin and family. Was her love for Finley a selfish rebellion, or the truest thing she had ever known was fighting for legal recognition worth the risk of losing everything else, her inheritance, her siblings, her peace of mind? Finley sensed the turmoil, and one evening after putting Sophia down pulled out a box of old photos. Look at us, AUD. Our wedding day, your smile. The day we decided to try for a baby. Every choice led here. If we back down now, what message do we send our daughter that love is conditional, that she has to hide parts of herself to be accepted? No. We teach her to stand. Audrey traced a finger over a photo of Finley, pregnant, belly round and glowing. You're right. But the cost, the court fees, the therapy sessions, the sleepless nights. I'm terrified of what this will do to us. Finley kissed her forehead. Then we pay it together. No matter how high. The betrayal deepened when Claire emailed court documents she had signed as a character witness for their parents. She described Audrey as confused, influenced by city life away from traditional values. Finley read it aloud, voice steady but eyes flashing. Your sister just sold us out. Audrey felt something inside crack. The sister who had taught her to drive, the one she protected from bullies, now willing to testify that their family was unfit. That night Audrey wrote a letter she never sent. Dear Claire, you chose fear over me. I choose Sophia over fear. If the court asks, I'll tell them exactly what blood costs when it demands you erase your heart. The isolation grew. Friends who once celebrated their engagement now made excuses, busy with their own lives. Neighbors avoided eye contact when walking dogs. Yet in the quiet moments when Sophia grasped Audrey's finger with surprising strength, the world narrowed to 3 heartbeats. This was the family worth every scar. As the court date approached, their lawyer, a sharp, queer woman named Marcus, warned them. The judge is old school. Your in-laws will paint you as activists endangering a minor. You need to show stability, love, evidence that Sophia is thriving. Audrey nodded, but inside the questions multiplied. Was stability a white picket fence with a dad or 2 women who would die for their child? Was love measured by chromosomes, or by midnight feedings and lullabies? Was she ready to stand in that courtroom and declare to her own parents that their rejection had forged her into a mother fiercer than they could imagine? The price was mounting: careers strained, savings drained, hearts bruised. But looking at Finley rocking Sophia to sleep, Audrey felt the awakening begin. She would not trade this for approval. Not now. Not ever. The fight was just beginning, and she would pay whatever it cost to keep her daughter legally hers in every way that mattered. The courthouse in downtown Portland loomed gray and imposing under a drizzling sky. Audrey adjusted Sophia's carrier against her chest, the baby's warmth the only anchor in a sea of dread. Finley walked beside her, shoulders squared, blonde hair pulled into a no-nonsense ponytail. Their lawyer Marcus met them at the steps, briefcase in hand. Remember, he said, keep emotions in check. Let me speak first. But emotions were already spilling. Audrey's parents sat on the opposite side of the aisle, her mother in a floral dress, her father in a suit that smelled of mothballs. Claire was there too, avoiding eye contact. The petition hearing was supposed to be routine, but nothing about ripping a family apart felt routine. The judge, a silver-haired man with reading glasses perched low, called the case. Thompson versus Hayes. Thompson. Audrey's maiden name used like a weapon. Marcus rose. Your Honor, my clients are legally married under Oregon law. Both are named parents on the birth certificate. The petitioners have no standing beyond biological relation to one mother, and have demonstrated clear hostility. Audrey's father stood uninvited. That hostility comes from love, Your Honor. We want the child raised right, not confused by this agenda. The judge banged the gavel. Sit down, sir. This is not a sermon. Finley testified, first, voice clear, describing the pregnancy, the birth, the daily joys of motherhood. When asked about Audrey's role, she said simply, she is Sophia's mother in every way that counts. Diapers at 3 a.m., lullabies when teeth hurt. Love doesn't need DNA to be real. Audrey took the stand next, heart hammering. She described the rejection, the hospital room, the phone call, the letter. My parents chose their beliefs over their granddaughter. I chose my family. The cross-examination was brutal. The petitioner's lawyer, a slick man from Boise, asked, "Did you ever consider that your lifestyle might make the child a target for bullying? Doesn't that make you unfit?" Audrey met his eyes. "Every child faces challenges. Mine will face them with two parents who adore her. Unlike the conditional love offered by my blood relatives." Claire was called next. She avoided Audrey's gaze. "I love my sister, but I worry for the baby. Traditional families provide balance. Two moms, it's not the same." Finley gripped Audrey's knee under the table, nails digging in. The betrayal burned hotter than any courtroom lamp. Outside during recess, Audrey confronted her sister in the hallway. "How could you, Claire? We shared a room as kids. You knew me before I even knew myself." Claire looked away. "Mom and Dad are suffering AUD. They lost you. I can't lose them too. Sophia needs grandparents. Not ones who want to erase her mother's." Audrey shot back. "You picked sides. Don't expect forgiveness when this is over." Finley pulled her away. "Save your strength, love. She's not worth it." But the word stung. Family, the one supposed to catch you when you fall, had pushed instead. That night back home, Sophia fussed with colic. Audrey walked the floor for hours singing off-key while Finley prepared bottles. The exhaustion mixed with rage created a new resolve. No more wondering if she was wrong. The court would see the truth, or she would make them see it. The next hearing brought more witnesses. A child psychologist hired by the petitioners claimed children in same-sex households faced identity issues, higher rates of confusion. Marcus destroyed him on cross, showing biased studies, outdated data. Their own expert, a professor from the University of Oregon, testified that love, stability, and security mattered far more than parental gender. Sophia is thriving. Secure attachment evident in her development. The moral dilemma sharpened for Audrey. Was she endangering her daughter by insisting on this fight, or by giving in what price was too high for authenticity? She confided in Finley during a rare quiet dinner. "If we lose, I don't know if I can stay here." The whispers, the stares. Finley set down her fork. "Then we move. We build new. But we don't break. Not for them." Social media added fuel. Someone leaked the case details. Comments flooded a local news post. "Disgusting. Child needs a father." Others countered, "Love is love." The divide mirrored the courtroom. At work, Audrey's caseload shrank. Partners cited conflict of interest, but she knew the truth. Finley received a parent note suggesting Sophia might be better in a different preschool environment. The trade-off was clear: career dreams paused, savings drained, emotional reserves tested to breaking. Yet each time Audrey held Sophia, the awakening deepened. This tiny human with her mother's eyes was worth every sacrifice. The family she lost had revealed the family she gained. As the judge scheduled the final ruling date, tension peaked. Audrey's mother cornered her in the courthouse bathroom one afternoon, eyes red-rimmed. "Please, Audrey. Come home. Leave this behind. We can help raise her." Audrey stared at the woman who once rocked her to sleep. "You had your chance, Mom. You chose judgment over joy. I choose her. Every day." The older woman left without another word. Back in the apartment that night, Audrey and Finley lay on the couch, Sophia between them. The baby gurgled, grabbing at fingers. Finley whispered, "We are her mother's EUD. Legally, morally, completely. No court or family can change that." Audrey nodded, the steel in her spine hardening. Tomorrow they would hear the verdict. Whatever it brought, she knew the price paid had forged her into someone unbreakable. The confrontation had stripped illusions, leaving only truth. Blood might run thick, but chosen love ran deeper, and she would defend it until her last breath. The final hearing day dawned crisp and unforgiving. Portland courthouse steps glistened with overnight rain. Audrey adjusted her navy suit, Finley's hand steady in hers. Sophia stayed home with a trusted friend, the one ally who had not wavered. Inside, the wood-paneled room smelled of lemon polish and anxiety. Audrey's parents sat ramrod straight, Claire beside them clutching a tissue. Marcus reviewed notes one last time. "This is it," he said. "Show them the family you built." The judge entered, robes swishing. "After reviewing all evidence and testimony, I am prepared to rule." Audrey's heart slammed against her ribs. Every sacrifice, every tear, every doubt led here. The judge cleared his throat. "The petitioners have failed to demonstrate that the minor Sophia is in any danger. On the contrary, evidence shows a stable, loving home with two committed parents. Oregon law recognizes both women as legal mothers. The petition for guardianship and visitation is denied. Gasps rippled through the room. Audrey's father shot to his feet. This is an outrage, the gavel cracked. Sit down, or I will hold you in contempt. The court further orders no further harassment. The family is to respect the boundaries set by the respondents. Court adjourned. Finley let out a sob of relief, pulling Audrey into a fierce hug. We did it, love. She's ours. Legally ours. Audrey stood numb, the words echoing. Two legal mothers. The title her parents had fought to erase now etched in official record. Outside on the courthouse steps, reporters waited, cameras flashing. A local station thrust a mic forward. How do you feel, Ms. Thompson? The victory must be sweet. Audrey blinked into the lights. It is. But no victory erases the pain of losing family. We just want to raise our daughter in peace. Finley added, voice strong. Love won today. Not ideology. Not hate. Love. Back home they celebrated quietly. Sophia reached for the colorful mobile above her crib, giggling. Audrey lifted her high, spinning gently. You have two moms, baby girl. Forever. The relief washed over her in waves, but underneath new questions stirred. Had the court truly protected them, or simply exposed how fragile blood ties could be when tested? The aftermath hit like aftershocks. Audrey's parents left Portland without a word. Claire sent one text. I hope you're happy. You destroyed our family. Audrey deleted it without reply. The betrayal cut deepest from the sister, who once meant the world. At work the whispers turned to cautious respect. A partner even apologized for the earlier distance. Finley returned to school greeted by supportive colleagues, and a principal who offered public backing. Yet the social prejudice lingered. Playdates were harder to arrange, some parents still hesitant. Audrey found herself scanning every playground for sideways glances, wondering if Sophia would one day feel the weight of otherness. The internal conflict had not vanished, it had transformed. She no longer doubted her worth as a mother, but mourned the version of herself that still craved parental approval. One evening Finley found Audrey on the balcony staring at the city lights. What are you thinking, love? Audrey sighed. That we won, but at what cost? My parents will never know. Her laugh. Claire will never be the aunt she could have been. Was fighting worth losing them forever? Finley joined her arms around her waist. Yes. Because giving in would have taught Sophia that love has conditions. We paid the price so she never has to. The moral dilemma lingered in quiet moments. Audrey journaled late at night, weighing right and wrong. Was it selfish to prioritize chosen family over blood? Or was it the ultimate act of protection? The awakening came gradually in small victories. Sophia's first word, mama, spoken while looking between both women. Her first steps toward both reaching arms. Each milestone reinforced the truth they had defended. Yet the drama did not end with the verdict. A week later Audrey's mother called from Boise, voice trembling. We saw the news. The court ruling. I miss her, Audrey. Miss you. Can we try? Audrey gripped the phone, knuckles white. Miss her? You never even held her, mom. You rejected her before she took her first breath. The silence stretched. I was wrong. Your father too. But family forgiveness, Audrey cut in. Forgiveness is earned. Show me you accept both of us, both her mothers. Until then, stay away. She hung up, heart pounding. Finley watched from the doorway. You okay, Eudia? For the first time I think I am. The confrontation had forced a choice no parent should face. But she had chosen correctly. The following months brought healing in unexpected places. A new support network formed, other LGBTQ families, sharing playdates, barbecues. Sophia grew chubby and curious, babbling at both mothers with equal delight. Audrey returned to full caseloads. Finley thrived in her classroom. The price paid, career setbacks, savings dipped, emotional scars remained, but the gains outweighed them. In the quiet after bedtime stories, Audrey would watch Finley read to Sophia, voices soft, and know the trade-off had been worth every tear. The family they built stood stronger for the battle. Yet deep down the question of right and wrong simmered. Had the court delivered justice by affirming two mothers, or had it simply drawn a line in the sand that split one family to save another? The awakening was complete. Audrey no longer sought answers from the past. She built them daily in the present with the woman and child who held her heart. The drama had tested them, refined them, and ultimately proved that some bonds forged in fire could never be broken. Spring arrived in Portland with cherry blossoms and cautious hope. Sophia, now 4 months older, crawled across the living room rug chasing a bright ball. Audrey watched from the couch, legal papers from the finalized court order spread before her. 2 legal mothers. The stamp still felt surreal. Finley entered carrying grocery bags. Court papers still out, love, Audrey nodded. Just making sure it's real. Finley set the bags down, kissed her deeply. It's real. We fought, we won. Now we live it. But living it meant navigating the aftermath with eyes wide open. Audrey's firm offered her a promotion, the whispers replaced by admiration for her resilience. Yet she declined extra travel, knowing Sophia needed both mothers present. The trade-off, career growth for family time, felt right, but carried its own sting. She had once dreamed of partner by 35, now 33, and content with balance. Finley faced her own awakening at school. A group of parents organized a diversity workshop crediting her case for opening eyes. Yet one family withdrew their child, citing discomfort. The principal supported her, but the isolation echoed old wounds. One evening Finley broke down after a long day. I keep wondering if Sophia will resent us for the stares, the questions. Audrey pulled her close. She will know she was fought for, loved fiercely. That is our legacy. The moral questions still surfaced in therapy sessions they attended together. The counselor, a gentle woman with graying hair, asked, "What does family mean to you now?" Audrey answered without hesitation, "The people who choose you every day, even when the world chooses against you." Finley added, "And the ones who stay through the fire." A surprise visit from Finley's parents from California brought lightness. They had always been more accepting, flying in for the wedding and sending care packages during pregnancy. They doted on Sophia, calling both women daughter. The contrast sharpened the loss of Audrey's side. Her mother sent a single card on Sophia's 6-month birthday. A generic happy birthday with no mention of Finley. Audrey stared at it for hours, then tucked it away. Forgiveness felt distant. The betrayal by Claire festered. A mutual friend reported Claire had started a small online group for parents concerned about modern families. The knife twisted deeper. Audrey drafted an email, then deleted it. Some bridges once burned stayed ash. The climax of their internal journey came during Sophia's first Christmas. They decorated a small tree in their apartment, lights twinkling. Audrey hung an ornament, 2 mothers holding a baby. Finley wrapped gifts, voice soft. "This is our first real holiday as 3. No hiding. No tension." Audrey felt tears rise. "We paid for this peace, Finn. Every argument, every court hour. Was it worth it?" Finley smiled. "Look at her. Worth every second." That night after Sophia slept, they sat by the tree, hands linked. Audrey voiced the deepest fear. "If I had chosen my parents' side back, then would I have regretted it forever?" Finley nodded. "Yes. Because you would have lost yourself." The awakening was total now. She understood the price of authenticity and accepted it. Yet external drama resurfaced. Audrey's father suffered a mild heart attack. Claire called frantic. "He asks for you, AUD. Please come. Family needs you." Audrey froze, phone in hand. Finley watched, worry etched on her face. "Go if you need to, love. But take me and Sophia or go alone." The choice loomed. Blood called, but on its terms. Audrey replied, voice steady. "Tell him I love him. But I come as I am with my wife and daughter, or not at all." The line went silent. Claire hung up. No visit followed. The rejection reaffirmed the boundary. Audrey grieved in private, walks along the Willamette River, wind whipping tears away. Finley joined her one afternoon. "You chose us. Again. That is strength." Work brought a major case involving another LGBTQ family facing discrimination. Audrey poured herself into it, winning a settlement that set precedent. The victory felt personal. Finley published an article in the Teachers Union newsletter about inclusive classrooms, sharing their story anonymously. Responses poured in, parents thanking her for visibility. The social prejudice softened around them, replaced by quiet allies. Sophia took her first steps toward both women, arms open wide. Audrey caught her laughing through happy sobs. The moment crystallized everything. The confrontations, the trade-offs, the trauma had led here, unbreakable bond. As spring turned to summer, they planned a family trip to the Oregon coast. No grandparents, no siblings, just 3. Packing the car, Audrey paused, looking at the court documents one last time. 2 legal mothers. The words no longer shocked, they empowered. Finley buckled Sophia in. Ready, love? Audrey smiled. More than ever. The drive along winding roads brought peace. Waves crashed below cliffs. Sophia babbled, pointing at seagulls. In their rented cabin that night with fire crackling, Audrey and Finley danced slow in the kitchen, Sophia between them. The romantic spark that had survived every storm reignited. The price had been steep but the reward infinite. Audrey knew now the moral line she had drawn was the right one. Family was not given, it was chosen, defended and cherished. The awakening complete, she faced the future with clear eyes and full heart. Whatever came next they would face as the family, the court, and their love had made whole. The Oregon coast stretched endless under a cloudless sky. Audrey walked barefoot along the wet sand, Finley beside her, Sophia in a carrier on her chest. The baby reached for passing waves, gurgling with delight. 6 months after the court ruling, life had settled into a rhythm both hard-won and precious. Mornings brought shared coffee and diaper changes, afternoons park visits, evenings stories and soft kisses. The drama that had consumed them felt distant, yet its lessons etched deep. Audrey no longer checked her phone for messages from Boise. The silence from her parents and Claire had become background noise, replaced by the symphony of their own making. Finley stopped picking up a smooth stone. Remember the night we decided to have her? She handed the stone to Audrey. I was terrified. You said we'd figure it out. We did. More than figured it out. We fought the world for her. Audrey turned the stone, warm from the sun. And the world pushed back hard. Your family, my family, society. But here we are. Sophia patted Audrey's cheek, tiny hands sticky with sunscreen. Mama, the baby babbled. Both women laughed, tears pricking eyes. She said it again. Mama for both. The awakening that had begun in the courtroom now bloomed fully. Audrey understood the true cost, not just lost relatives or strained careers, but the illusion that love could be safe without sacrifice. Back in Portland, routine strengthened them. Audrey made partner at the firm on her terms, flexible hours, family first. Finley led a new inclusive curriculum at school, earning awards. Social circles expanded with other families who understood without explanation. Yet prejudice lingered in subtle ways, a store clerk double-checking their family photo on the phone, a distant relative unfollowing on social media. Each instance tested resolve but no longer broke it. Sophia thrived crawling, then cruising furniture, her laughter filling rooms once shadowed by doubt. The moral dilemmas that had haunted Audrey now served as compass. She journaled less about right and wrong and more about gratitude. Today Sophia smiled at a stranger who stared. Today we chose love again. A final confrontation arrived unexpectedly. Audrey's mother appeared at their door one rainy afternoon, a lone umbrella dripping. I came without telling your father. Audrey stared, heart racing. Mom. What are you? Finley stepped forward, inviting her in with wary grace. The older woman sat on the edge of the couch, eyes fixed on Sophia playing on a mat. She looks like you, Aud. So much. Tears fell freely. I was wrong. So wrong. The church, the town, everyone pushed. But seeing the ruling, seeing you too with her, I couldn't sleep. Audrey sat across from her, hands folded. You rejected us at the hospital, Mom. Tried to take her legally. Forgiveness isn't a switch. Her mother nodded. I know. I just want to know her. Even a little. Finley spoke, voice even. We protect her. If you accept both of us fully, no conditions, then maybe one day. The woman left with a small photo of Sophia tucked in her purse, promise hanging fragile. Audrey closed the door, leaning against it. Was that right? Finn letting the door crack open. Finley hugged her. You set the boundary. That's the mother you are now. The trip back to the coast months later sealed the healing. They rented the same cabin. Sophia, now pulling up to stand, laughed at crashing waves. Audrey and Finley walked at sunset, hands linked, baby monitor in pocket. The romantic moment they had fought for unfolded naturally. Finley stopped, turned Audrey to face her. I love you. More than the day we married. Through every fight, every doubt. Audrey kissed her softly wind-whipping hair. You are my home. Sophia, our greatest choice. They embraced, the three of them silhouetted against orange sky. The price paid, family severed, career pivots, emotional scars, had purchased this peace. No regrets, only clarity. As they packed to leave, Audrey stood on the porch, final view of ocean. The court had declared them two legal mothers, but life had declared them unbreakable. The drama of rejection, betrayal, and battle had stripped everything unnecessary, leaving pure truth. Sophia deserved no less. Finley loaded the last bag. Ready for home AUD home. The word meant everything now. They drove back singing silly songs to keep Sophia entertained. Portland lights welcomed them. In the quiet nursery after bedtime, Audrey whispered to the sleeping baby, "We fought for you, little one. Not because we had to, but because you are worth every cost." Finley joined her arms around both. The family complete. Yet as seasons turned, the question lingered in Audrey's mind during quiet moments. She voiced it one night over wine on the balcony. When family demands you choose between blood and the love you built, is fighting for your truth worth the irreversible losses? The court said yes. Our hearts say yes. But what do you think? Was it right to stand firm even if it meant some doors closed forever? Finley considered the stars above. Right is what lets us sleep at night with our daughter safe and loved. We paid the price so she never has to question her worth. That feels like the only answer that matters. Audrey nodded. The debate settled not by law but by love. The story of their family, etched in resilience and choice, would continue. Two mothers, one unbreakable bond, and a daughter who would grow knowing exactly what fierce love looked like. The end had become a beginning, and in that truth they found peace.